Bitcoin went above 42,000 US dollars overnight, which is absolutely amazing to see. We really deserve this bounce, this rally. I don't know if this is the relief rally or the disbelief rally, but it just feels like a nice, well-deserved bounce. So congratulations for everybody that has made it through this very, very harsh bear market for the past 2 years. And Bitcoin going up, to be honest, is a very, very important sign of strength for the entire crypto market. And it will eventually cause a massive alt season. So right now, in my personal opinion, is the best time and key time maybe to be exposed to altcoins, because to be honest, altcoins are where most of the life-changing wealth is being done in crypto, right? It's not in Bitcoin. Altcoins is really where it's at. But of course, you subscribe to Cryptocito because you want the Cosmos Alpha, you want the Cosmos crypto news, which is why I'm going to bring you the latest. And to be honest, I made a video yesterday, but since yesterday, a lot has happened already. So we see a new proposal on the Cosmos Hub Atom, which would realign Atom or the Cosmos Hub and Osmosis. And Sunny, the Osmosis co-founder, actually made a tweet here where he says, excited to see the massive support behind Cosmos Hub Proposal 858. As we enter this next bull, this is the first step towards bringing Atom and Osmo back together into the holy partnership that was always meant to be. There is a lot of history, of course, between Atom and Osmo. I remember a proposal, I think it was 54, to request Atom liquidity, which then failed. Now we're seeing a second attempt in a different way, which basically asks for Atom protocol-owned liquidity to be deployed in the ST Atom, which is Stride Liquid Staked Atom, and Atom Pool on Osmosis. And the ask here is for 900,000 atoms, which would then boost Cosmos DeFi adoption, strengthen Atom's role as interchain money. And we talked about this in the previous videos. And it would also, of course, accelerate Stride's liquid staking adoption. And here it also mentions that 10% of the provisioned liquidity would then be deployed in the upcoming ST Atom Dynamic S Plus Vault on Quasar. So that would also drive Quasar adoption, which is really cool. And also, it would create a new revenue stream for the Cosmos Hub. These funds would obviously come from the Cosmos Hub on-chain treasury or from the community pool. So that's where we're currently at. And to be honest, I think this is a no-brainer proposal, Proposal 858 on the Cosmos Hub. And the same also, in my perspective, counts for the Proposal 853, which is a proposal from P-Stake, the persistence team that is asking for 600,000 Atom for liquid staking growth on P-Stake. You can read the full proposal here, but basically the TLDR is that they would also share revenue through P-Stake. They would waive fees. So this is not something where they would now make crazy amounts of money with because they urgently need money. This is just to boost liquid staking adoption, to also diversify for different liquid staking providers, which I think makes a lot of sense. We don't want to go all in on Stride. Of course, Stride is amazing and currently market leader, but we also have P-Stake. We also have others also that are coming up. Quicksilver, even though they have lost a little bit of traction recently. We also have Stuffy. We also have Milky Way that is coming up now, native to the Celestia ecosystem, but that's also an interesting one. So this is basically what it is. And then we would see those atoms deployed on Astroport and Dexter, which are also two alternative dexes to Osmosis. So this is really cool. I think both these proposals would really foster and strengthen Atom's role as interchain money, which is important. Talking about Atom, before we get into two big news that are more Cosmos ecosystem news and not Atom news, but we have Atom 1. I talked about this in a video recently, 2 days ago, about my thoughts on the Atom 1 fork. Jae Kwon, the original founder of Cosmos, inventor of Tendermint, he actually wants to fork. And now I just saw this tweet from Adi. We have Atom 1 on CoinGecko. So this comes kind of out of nowhere. We have the website here directing to GitHub, and the community Twitter actually directs to Jae Kwon's profile on Twitter. So Is this really going to happen? I give it a very low likeliness in my video, but it seems like this is happening. So let's see. I got my popcorn ready. Now we have two big news that affect two DeFi hubs in Cosmos. One of them is, of course, Osmosis, leading IBC and DeFi hub in Cosmos, took IBC to the market. Killer team, killer product market fit. I think without the Osmosis team, Cosmos would not be where it is today. And they have now mutually basically proposed to merge with UX chain, which is previously known as Umee. And Umee is also a very OG Cosmos chain. You remember my interview I did with Brent from 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago, probably, before Umee went even live on mainnet. We talked about this. And Umee, or now UX chain, is a lending protocol that is now proposing to fully merge with Osmosis. So basically, UX chain will transition its code development to be built on top of the Osmosis blockchains. They would just basically merge also their development teams. They would join mesh security and fully work and research on that to ship that. We talked about mesh security also a very, very long time ago, almost 2 years now, 1.5 years, something like that. So this would also now become a joint effort. And there's already other teams like Juno, Axelar, that are also working on mesh security together with the Osmosis team. Potentially, and this is very important to understand, this is not clarified yet, what will happen with the UX token, previously the Umee token or Umee token. In this post, it just mentions that this proposal opens up the possibility of discussing a token swap or migration mechanism. Now, what's interesting is, and I want you to keep these numbers in mind, because we have basically Umee proposing to merge onto Osmosis and become part of Osmo, right? So as a reaction to that, we basically saw the Osmo coin flat, Osmosis only up 3.8%, but today everything is up. So that's not a big reaction to this news. Whereas the coin that proposes to merge onto the other one is up 16%, actually 20% at the peak today. So Umee is up while Osmo is flat. Then during the day, we had a second proposal from two different teams coming up, which is Mars and Neutron, that also want to join forces. They didn't use the term merge here, and it also sounds more like a very, very tight partnership and collaboration and not as much of a merge. There's basically a bi-directional multi-million-dollar grant deal between both foundations. So it's more like a very close integration and partnership between the two foundations. And basically what they're proposing here is that Mars would actually shut down their mainnet, their blockchain. They have their own blockchain called Mars Hub. And the token, the Mars token, would then fully migrate onto the Neutron chain. And Neutron is a chain that is actually secured by Atom, the first chain that uses Cosmos Hub shared security. So this would actually mean Mars would fully migrate and become part of the Atom economic zone, and hence also be aligned more with the Cosmos Hub. And Mars, if you don't know, is actually a product that was developed and incubated by Delphi Labs, which is a big VC incubator and also a development team. I think over 50 people work there. That is quite substantial, and that would be a big win, obviously, for Neutron. On the other hand, Neutron would benefit from Mars's protocol, obviously from Mars's code base, from Mars's products, right? I think here it mentions more that they would have exclusivity about new product launches. Also, they would direct 10% of the revenue of the Mars protocol DAO to Neutron. And the reaction to that on each coin price is very different than the one we had on Osmosis and Umee. Here we have Mars, the token or a chain that's actually going to migrate to the other one, down 13%, whereas Neutron is up 20%. So Neutron is now at $69.22 cents it was actually as high as $74 and almost reached price parity with Osmosis. And they actually also have the same token supply, right? They have both 1 billion coins each. So Neutron and Osmosis actually have the same market cap right now, fully diluted market cap. And yeah, I think Neutron is also in a very good position here to build out a full-on DeFi ecosystem. They already have Astroport, which is also incubated by Delphi, by the way. And if you go on Astroport, you can also see that there's decent liquidity. And I want to show you this number real quick because I think it's very important and interesting, because you can already see here, Mars actually was a Terra project. So Mars is X-Terra. At the peak had $350 million in TVL. Then UST packed. They relaunched a year later on Osmosis, actually. Then almost 6-7 months later, they launched on Neutron. And then they launched V2 on Osmosis just in early October. So out of this 8.5 million of TVL that they currently have, the vast majority is actually on Osmosis, and only 300,000 are currently on Neutron as per DeFi Llama. So Mars actually proposing to go on Neutron or really double down on Neutron is very surprising looking at these numbers. So I don't know, maybe they want to just, not compete with Umee on the same chain, or they want to close their line with Neutron because also Astroport is there and has massive traction there. I don't know what the conversations were behind the scenes, but I still think this is very interesting and also helps to realign and to helps bring these protocols together in these development teams, right? I kept talking about this for years, that Cosmos needs more alignment. I felt like everybody's always swimming in different directions. And now this whole merger season that has been kicked off with the Cosmos Hub and Stride and others as well, is now actually becoming more and more of a reality. So I think that's really cool to see. And also let's look at Umee here. Umee actually has a nearly $13 million TVL, of which the vast majority is on the UX chain natively. And then they also have some liquidity on Ethereum. So this is it. Let me know what you think about these M&As here. And if you think it makes sense the way it's currently being proposed, or if you have any constructive feedback. I want to leave you with those thoughts from Yelena, who is saying, Cosmos wins as soon as the prevailing culture changes from a scarcity mindset, player versus player infighting, DPS, drama per second, and so on, to an abundance mindset. We're all gonna make it, Bill LFG. The proposed Osmosis and Umee merger is a great example of the abundance mindset action. I would also say, obviously, the Mars and Neutron merger or close, tight integrations, and hopefully also the upcoming noble migration on the Cosmos Hub from a standalone chain to become an atom-secured chain. That would be super cool as well. Out collaborating the competition is really the theme of Cosmos and our core value proposition also as an ecosystem, as a community.